Operation status quo. Operation status quo. Prepare to engage. Operation status quo. Ready to engage. Operation status quo. Engaged. Engaged. Hey guys, what's up? You like how happy I am when I come on and I see you guys? I get so excited just to be here with you. I'll tell you. I should leave it at that before I even say anything. You know, it seems so ingratiating. I seem so friendly. Before I say something that makes your brain say, what the hell am I doing listening to this guy? I should just stop right here. I love you guys. You're beautiful people. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for being here on Operation Status Quo. Woo! Yeah! Excuse me. I'm sorry. Hey-o. I digress. Allow me to digress if I could. All right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are we doing out there? Happy Monday to you. We're starting off another week, getting through January. Before you know, we'll be wrapping up January. We'll be on our way into February. And, for those of you up north, I guess, finally it'll start to, you got another month or so. I was just talking to a friend of mine yesterday. He was saying how cold it was, and I said, well, once you get through February, you start to get a hint of there's a possibility that it could be warm. And then, March, the sun feels a little stronger. And then before you know it, it's April and you're realizing you got some nice days. And then by May, you're complaining that it's too hot. So it's crazy the difference in weather and stuff in different areas, right? I'm just saying, even me here, it's not even cold per se, in Florida compared to other places in the country, right? But, I've been wearing these long sleeve shirts over the past week because I still got shorts on, by the way, and I'm not wearing socks right now. But anyway, just so you know my full attire. And I do have pants on, but they're shorts. Oh my gosh. But I complain. It's like today, it's like in the 60s. So it's a little bit better today, but it's been chilly a little bit down here for, Florida standards, especially since I'm used to just like sweating all the time. It's just always so hot, but it's been, I have to say, I already did think of this when it gets to be around June again and it's just blistering for, 4 months. I'll be saying, I remember those days back in January. It was nice to have a little chill in the air every once in a while, right? So anyway, this is not a weather show. This is not a weather report. I don't know what I'm doing. I apologize. Hello and welcome to Operation Status Quo. I am Pete Palmer, your user-friendly host. This, of course, is Operation Status Quo, the place where we observe the status quo of life. We learn to flow with the status quo of life, and then we create our own flow of quo, because that's the only way to go. So as I like to say each and every episode, I don't think I say it every episode, but when I remember, I say it most of the time. What are you doing out there today to create your own flow of quo, let me know in the description box below. You see how we make all that rhyme? I like the rhyming. It kind of, it makes it stick in your head, like Costanza. Remember that from Seinfeld? Costanza. How many times have I done that on other shows? Probably a bunch. I say a lot of the same things over and over again. Have you ever noticed that? If you watch what I do? Oh my gosh. But we just have messages here that we want to share. It's what Operation Status Quo is about, as simply as I put it. We observe life. If you're new here, thanks for being here. We just looking at what's going on in the world, and we're seeing things with different perspectives, and trying to remember that we have all the power within ourselves to be the best selves that we can be. We're all here for a purpose. We're all beautiful souls, created by God. We're part of the oneness. You know what I'm saying? We all have that energy and potential within us, and yet our slave structure of our mainstream world keeps us apart from that, and that's why you see all the chaos and craziness that's out there all the time, and why people are miserable and suffering and fighting and all the stuff that goes on. But anyway, let's get into it today, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 22nd of January in the good year 2024, and today's program is entitled As the Fake World Turns. That's right. Remember the soap opera, As the World Turns? I was thinking As the Fake World Turns, because we know that everything in our mainstream life is basically an orchestrated lie. And I kind of got on the catalyst. The catalyst for me with this today was over the weekend. I had been seeing this post going around on social media that I guess came from I guess it was a news channel in Canada, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was a news channel in Canada that was whatever. They had something up on the screen, and they were showing who was going to be performing in the Super Bowl on February 11th. It said Reba McEntire, Usher, and there's one other whoever it is. Be involved in performing at the halftime show for the Super Bowl on February 11th, but the report said the Super Bowl between the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens, which was pretty ironic that this came out. I think it was on Friday. Was it Friday that I saw it or Saturday morning? And well, obviously the games hadn't even been played yet, right? San Fran didn't play their game. Baltimore didn't play their game yet. So they potentially, could have quote unquote lost, over the weekend. And like that report would have been inaccurate. But, I found it interesting because, it's one of those little things because, as we talk here all the time on Operation Status Quo. And remember, I say all this stuff not to be over the top conspiratorial, not to, try to make an argument or a fight or anything like that. I mean, it's really just practical thoughts, and like in the sense of, we have to really be aware of our brains and what they are and their computers and the programming that goes in, just like behaviors, just like you take the clicker, for your dog or something, click, 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 to get them to sit or walk or click, 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 you do the click and then you give them a treat, click, 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 click. I mean, that's what we are with our remote controls watching TV, click, 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 click. It's the same thing. I never really thought about that. That really makes sense too, right? They train us with their, instead of using the clicker on the dog, they put the clicker in our hand and we train ourselves. Click, 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 and our brains just go whatever they say. And, listen, people, let's just, I get excited here. I say a lot of stuff, right? But let's just take it from a practical purpose. We realize that there's entities, powers that be, whatever you want to say, that are in existence within our realm that aren't necessarily in our daily life that, we think they are. Like there's cities and everything underground and who knows what's on the moon or in space. If you believe in space, I don't know, who knows what's wherever, multidimensional. I like to go the multidimensional route. There's stuff like, all around us in a multitude of capacities, but yet we're so penned into this little way of living, right? I mean, just our normal life, what we think is real, what we think is a new discovery and blah, 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 like just watching even the path of, the progression of our, science and technology and such through our duration. And, there's been, it goes way beyond that. And there were societies before our society that were, beyond the technologies that we're using today. So I'm just trying to say, it's not as linear. Everybody thinks everything is just so linear and in this, like, everybody, we all got these, the blinders on of just, what we're taught. But, the point of what I'm trying to say today, if there ever is a point, let me try to make one. If I could, I'd love to do that. Can I just say I love you guys again before I go any further? I love you. Yeah. Heyo. How you feeling out there? Are you feeling good? Let me know in the comments. Come on, chime in, people. I love you guys out there. Let's make it a interactive. That's what word I wanted. Let's make it an interactive environment here on Operation Status Quo. By the way, here's another tangent. I apologize, but I just over the weekend started doing a couple little shorts, so you can go and check my shorts out too. Shorts, not the shorts that I'm wearing today, but shorts as the videos go. I had a friend of mine actually kind of make a suggestion to me about the shorts, and I never really thought about it before. And honestly, it's a lot easier for me just to record myself on a video for 30 seconds and then upload it instead of like coming on here. Not that this is it's not difficult for me. Obviously, you see, I'm just rambling on and on, but I basically just have a topic and I just, this is all stream of consciousness, people. Okay. There's no rhyme or reason to what I'm saying, but I was getting into the idea of, everything that we see in our mainstream world is basically, the point I want to make is like what we see in our mainstream world is really the same as watching a soap opera or watching professional wrestling. The stuff is scripted. It seems real. Oh yeah. I was talking about this thing with the 49ers and the Ravens, right? So, that news story that thing was on the news and this picture that somebody took a screenshot from their TV or whatever it was, this has been making the rounds on social media, as far as like saying, trying to put the idea out there is it fixed? Like our sports, is it fixed? And a lot of people would say no, because how are you going to get everybody in on it that way and stuff? And this is the thing I think is the most important thing to remember about the concept that I'm trying to say today. The concept I'm trying to make clear is that, our mainstream life is an orchestrated lie. There's every aspect of our life, from politics to education to our financial system to, our belief in what science really is to to our self-care. I mean, everything, our health, all that stuff, it's all infiltrated, very subtly. So the people who are doing things like don't necessarily even know that they're involved. Like just say with the sports, like is every single person in the NFL, like, in on the gig, that it's fake, but no, probably not, but there's enough people in on it that they're able to kind of orchestrate it. Just imagine if like the people, like for the football games, if two teams got together, just like two wrestlers got together before, back in the day when I was watching WWF all the time, imagine Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant, they sit down and go, okay, we're going to do this in the first round, blah, blah, blah. Then, I'll get beat up pretty good. And, then I'll come back with the, when Hulk Hogan, when he's ready to go down, he comes out with the finger and, he starts getting up, and like all of a sudden, he gets up like this, and, right? So like, they play, okay, we'll do this. And then, we'll go here and do that, blah, 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 blah. And then, then you'll pin me at the end, or, I'll get disqualified, or whatever they, the plan is. But just, imagine that like with our sports teams, like, okay, like in the, the first quarter, you guys will come out like fire, we'll miss a couple tackles and stuff. You get like, a few touchdowns, blah, blah, blah. Like even when I saw the Eagles game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week, there's no way the Eagles, unless they really just either didn't want to play at all, or, I mean, they have skill that they should be better. There's no way you can not make tackles. I mean, they literally miss like every tackle. So I don't understand it, unless it's kind of in the cards, right? Like, okay, we're going to miss some tackles. This is going to happen, blah, 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 and it's all kind of set up, from the beginning. So I'm not, again, we're not trying to get over the top conspiratorial. It's not even about like trying to make it that way or trying to be angry about it. Really, the point is just to realize that, everything in our life, like, the sports are out there to keep people distracted. The politics are out there to keep people distracted. Like the wars, what's going on in Russia, Ukraine, what's going on in the Middle East, it's all to keep people distracted. They already know 10, 20 steps ahead of what they're doing, and it's all kind of planned out. That's how you talk about this all the time. That's why I don't understand why people, hate Trump so much and stuff, because it's all, it's all part of, and that's one of the ironic things. Like, Trump was part of wrestling back in the day, right? I guess if he was WWE or WWE, I always say WWF, but then I know it changed to WWE and whatever it is now. But, long story short, he was involved with that. And like, to me, it's just symbolic. It's really just a message of showing that like our world is fake, because I don't know, guys, I know I'm getting crazy on this one a little bit, but it's just the truth. Our whole mainstream world is a design, like it's a designed play. And again, not every single, even the bad actors or quote unquote bad actors, but there's people who are just involved in doing that don't even know what they're doing. Just say like doctors, for example. And I apologize that I know doctors, they want to help people and all this kind of stuff. But you say you go to medical school, and what are you taught in medical school? It's a whole indoctrination of, what they say medicine is and what are treatments to heal, what the protocols are for, different situations and such. And they already have all that kind of tabulated and established. So somebody goes into the medical profession, and that's the information that they're taught. That's the information that they learn. And then when they come out and they open up a practice, that's the way that they, move forward in their care of the patients based on, what they learned and believing in the system, because who would think that someone's going to try to trick you and lie to you to give bad health care to people, right? But I'm saying that's how like insidious it is. And then because of us not being aware, this is why it's so important for us to be self-aware, and why I talk so much about always having that space to be able to process our thoughts, be mindful of what we're thinking, what we're taking in, our reactions, how it's affecting us, all this type of stuff. Like, if you're just like this program bot, you just grow up in a normal family and the family wants you to be a doctor and they send you off to college and, you grew up with all this, got to have good grades and you're all caught up in this system of, I mean, like even good grades and stuff in school, like what is good grades? Good grades for what? Because you can regurgitate a bunch of shit that don't mean shit, like I always say. So I just find it, pretty interesting. So, they'll go out there and they'll learn how to be a doctor and, they'll come out and it's not really learning to be a doctor. Really we can be our own doctors, and the truth is Earth is a doctor. If we just, utilize the planet in the right way and we grew food the right way and we ate natural foods and we weren't, creating processed stuff and poisoning our ourselves. That's what's so interesting about, like, not to go off on a tangent with that, but I mean, they have all these medications for all these ailments, like, but like all these ailments are there because we're not, living the right way, and we're not treating our body the right way. And it's not even just with the food, it's our emotional state. It's, the sleep that we get or don't get, it's like so many levels. That stress, I mean, and people don't even realize how stressed they are, right? Because they're always trying to fit themselves into the wheelhouse of what the mainstream deems as acceptable or cool or normal socialization, but it doesn't resonate. Why are people so stressed? Why are people unhappy? Why are people always looking for some sort of other gratification? Why are they looking for distractions? Because no one is centered, right? We're not centered because our world isn't built to be centered. Our world is built to obfuscate and confuse, and that's what they do. So, while you're looking over here, they're doing something else over there. That's why, like, when I see stuff going on, even with, like the Middle East, for example, obviously, it's a big thing, and everybody's worried about, is it going to be a nuclear war, or or is it going to spread? Who's going to but they already know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's all done in a nice way to just kind of keep everybody over here scared, right? Scared on top of it. You got these other countries telling people to prepare, for war, and panic buying goes on, and blah blah blah. And then what's really going on? I mean, I don't know what exactly, but I'd say like they're moving forward with their agenda in a way that the agenda ultimately is to have control over the population, right? So the more that they can create to seem that there's all this discord going on, it's easier to keep the people, to then rein in the people is what I want to say, because they can build up and create some sort of event, quote unquote event, that occurs. Now it's like, oh well, this tragedy just happened, so for the good of people. Just like, with the fake pandemic, what they do? Oh, we don't know what's going on with this virus, so we're just going to, I don't know, what do you say we just shut down the whole world, huh? That sounds like a good idea, right? Let's not let any person talk to any person. Let's not let any person be with any person. Just stay in your house. Don't worry about money. Just shut your business down, lose everything you built. It's no problem. We're going to figure this out, and that's what I'm saying. It's like all this type of stuff. And, we're so, again, and that's why, look, I've said this a gazillion times, and I still, believe it, and I'm thankful for it, that, COVID really is a catalyst to, break free, of all this stuff. And it took like, putting humanity in a timeout, basically, right? It's like, we're just going to put the whole world in a timeout. You guys have been bad out there. You're doing a little too much free thinking. So we don't want that in this world. It makes us nervous. So, we got to try to get the power out of your hands. So what's it turn into afterwards? Then, they're able to use an event like that to try to, push on, the jabs and stuff, right? Now you're stuck, you can't work, or you can't go grocery shopping, or you can't go to a concert, or you can't do this, because you're all you got to be jabbed up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, I got my jab right here. I want to prove to everybody that the vax is safe. So if you don't, I was going to give myself a quick, there we go, and just a little vaccine and. Oh, I'm just kidding. So I'm all right, really. I'm all right. But that's what's happening out there. People dropping dead. Hey-o. Dropping dead all over the place because they're believing in that crap and not believing in the power they have within themselves. But, again, as the fake world turns, that's what we're talking about here today. And it's not to be over the top with everything, but if you're really mindful and pay attention, you can see that, like, what's going on in our daily lives is just, it's all orchestrated for the benefit of what needs to be. They'll bob and weave and make adjustments as it goes. How's it going to, I'm really curious how it plays out, because I know that we're moving towards another direction and we're breaking free of this stuff. So, that's why I always say I expect things to get, a little more, feel constrained a little bit more before it actually, pops free. And what will the event be? Well, again, something in the Middle East, a big the financial crash. I mean, really, I think ultimately, because everything in this world is always about money, right? And these people in power always want to keep their power, and they want to have control over everything. They don't want people independently wealthy and such, because then you don't need the system. You're free, right? So they don't want that. So they want to keep you within the constraints of the debt that they create for us to all pay off for not just your life, but your kids and your kids' kids and forever and ever. Isn't that beautiful? It's so nice of them to give you such a beautiful present. But I definitely think that's what's going on. A lot of these countries, even with the stuff, if you want to take it down to a level of something really, that the United States is really going into the Middle East, and, they say it's for freedom. They always say it's for freedom. But, things I've researched show that, Saddam Hussein, when they went into Iraq and did all that with him, he was trying to get away from the U.S. dollar. He was trying to do oil trades and euros and get off the dollar, and all of a sudden we have to invade Iraq, right? Gaddafi back in the day with Libya apparently was the same thing. He was trying to create some sort of gold-backed currency to do his trades with other countries. And oops, now Gaddafi has to go, So it's all ultimately the same thing. You have all these BRICS nations now that are coming together trying to build this new economy through gold-backed currency and such, and want to get away from the dollar. And, what happens? Oh, well, now all of a sudden we got like our entire Navy over in the Middle East because we have to protect the commercial ships. And, Israel's, was attacked, terrorist attack, but which, of course, just like 9/11 was done purposely to create the illusion so that who's going to argue with going in the fight against terrorism. Speaking back on the football thing real quickly, it just popped back into my head. The same thing happened with 9/11 that happened with this football thing. I'm really curious to see if the 49ers and the Ravens make it to the Super Bowl based on, this news story that came out, over the weekend. But the same thing happened with 9/11 in other countries, like in Europe and such. They were already reporting the attack on the towers before it even happened, right? So I know, this, it's not like, I'm just trying to tell people out there, to always be mindful and to trust your instincts and your intuition and what your heart tells you, because anything that and you watch, I don't have to tell you guys, if you're watching TV and the media and different things, it's the same stories, it's the same, structure within, it's the same, social guidance, engineering, whatever word you want to use, to keep people, in a certain type of way. So, it's all done on purpose. It's all orchestrated. Forget about politics. It's all bullshit. It's more than obvious. There's no way that people could be leaders in these capacities, and create so much turmoil for humanity if it wasn't done purposeful, and it's not like, again, not even them, these are the people that are, just put in place to be the puppets for the ones that are really, putting forth the agendas. And those are the ones that we don't even know who they are. We've never seen them. They're living underground. They're living on the moon. I don't know where they are, but we don't know where they are. Where are you guys? Where are you guys? We want to see you. We're tired of it. We're not going to do it anymore. I'm not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. All right, let's calm down, everybody. Let's calm down. All right, we still got those people complaining. I got to go back over here and get rid of that. That's one of my longer sound effects. They go on and on. All right. Well, anyway, that's the message here today, ladies and gentlemen. Did I make a message? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Did you get anything out of this? What am I talking about? But seriously, as the fake world turns, and just be mindful that everything we see, we give our hearts away, our emotions into things, especially the sports. We're people who are really, you get passionate for your team, and you're spending your money to go see the games. You're spending your money to buy the merchandise, and all this crap is like fixed. It's the same as watching WWF. It's like kind of just all done in a way. Think about the amounts of money, are involved with this kind of stuff, right? I mean, they're not just going to let things happen organically. They can't do that because it's just not going to pay off for them, right? So it's just the way it has to be. In politics, the same thing. Like, I think forget about, like, they talk about election deniers and stuff with Trump. I mean, I still, of course, think Trump won that election, but it doesn't matter because I think every election is fake. And when Trump won in 2016, I'm sure that was fixed too. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, he did a better job cheating than they did that time. That's all. I mean, and also I think it's done on purpose to show, how broken the system is. You guys are out there thinking your vote matters, and rock the vote. Your vote matters. Get your voice heard. and like, and what's going on? And you know what I'm saying? It's all planned before they knew Obama was going to be president, before all that went down. It's all done the way it's meant to be done, to carry out agendas little by little, step by step, all part of the program. So, the more we can free ourselves of, the quote unquote matrix and all the parameters within that keep us like, just focused on all that kind of stuff. And, the more we can be independent, the more we can get back to, our source energy within ourselves, the more we can work with the earth and, natural things, the easier life will be, the happier life will be. I don't know. I say the easier. I mean, for me personally, that's all I can speak from my personal experience. And I've said this 100 times. I don't take this life or world seriously at all. Like, people are so entrenched in their physicality and worried about everything that's going on. I mean, this is nothing, man. It's like a blip in and the beautiful part about it is, if we can really remember, is that each and every one of us, chose the journey that we're on. So we're here, just be it and live it. Like, whatever you are, whoever you are, be it and live it. And don't let the outside of what they try to do take that away from you. That's the whole point. They don't want you to be it and live it, because you have so much to offer, and we all have so much to offer, and they don't want that, because they just want everything for themselves, which is really crazy in my mind. I don't understand that, dynamic. Like, if everybody has and everybody's able to enjoy life and have fun, and what's the purpose of having dominion in a sense over others? Like, why have power over others? What does that even prove? Why would a person or anybody want power over someone else, right? I just trying to say, like, we should all be like, we're all equal. That's how I see everything. We just should ingratiate each other and help each other and work together. And the idea of keeping somebody else down, like, I couldn't even live like with myself if I was like living in a way of, keeping other people down for my benefit, or trying to trick people or make people think I'm nice, but I'm really not, or, manipulation and all that thing. Like, I just don't, it just kind of blows my mind. That's why I'm so passionate about our freedoms, and so passionate about, people just standing up for who you are, believe in yourself, forget these. If you don't like your job, I'm not telling you to do anything. If you don't like your job, if you don't like your spouse, I don't know. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, don't live within a world that you think you have to stay stuck in, just because this what other people think, or what you were taught should be. We have so much conditioning, and we limit ourselves so much on all this conditioning, and they just keep dropping it down on us, and pumping it out through all the different, media formats and such. And, they keep us just, dumbed down and worried about crap that don't mean crap. I saw somebody yesterday when Buffalo Bills lost that game. The guy was in the stands. He was literally crying. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking, what are you talking about? It's like, I get the supporting, your team lost. Too bad. Maybe next year. You guys up there crying. I mean, your whole life is built on what your freaking football team does. I mean, come on, man. There's, that's all and not to put people down in any way. I'm just saying, but that's how programmed that we've been. That like we give we're giving our life blood, our life energy, our life source, we're giving it away to shit that don't mean shit. So anyway, as the fake world turns, and it's turning and turning and turning and turning. Well, unless you believe in the flat earth, and it's not turning, you were just a disc. So, anyway, that's what I got for you here today on Operation Status Quo, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget that everything that we see is merely a soap opera or professional wrestling. Whichever one you like better, you can liken it to that, all right? So I thank you so much for your time being here with me today on Operation Status Quo, as I always do. If you haven't done so already, what the heck are you waiting for? Please like, subscribe, and share. Send this out to your friends, your family, those you love, and of course, those you despise as well. I love each and every one of you out there, individually as well as a group. God bless you. And until tomorrow, Operation Status Quo, disengaged.
It's a boulevard of 10 short blocks.